or you gonna use your own Wi-Fi down?
I'm gonna use the Wi-Fi.
It should work.
I might turn it the other way, so if it do go out.
Hey, you got your phone connected to the Wi-Fi? Cause you got your phone connected to the Wi-Fi, it'll slow it down.
Oh, you on this? Okay, I'm on this. Okay. Just read what it says. Alright. First and foremost, we want to give our praises, our glory, our honors unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
We want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Right, I'm Brother Zion from GMS Atlanta, out here visiting the brothers down here in Savannah. And we just want to do like an open forum live stream lesson, to the spirit part of Yahweh Shai and feed the flock. All right, so whatever scripture brother got, you can just go ahead and read that.
All right. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is the treasure.
Right. All right. So it says that the fear of the Most High is his treasure, because what's going to be happening in the earth today? All right. There's going to be a lot of doom, destruction, and that's all coming from the Lord. So if we fear the Lord, that's a treasure. Okay? So therefore, us knowing him, having his knowledge, that's what's going to make us stable. All right? Those are the hopeful elect to actually get us through that wrath and that trouble some time to come. Okay? Read that again.
Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Right, the wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Scriptures. All right? Because not everybody has the wisdom and the knowledge of the Bible. Okay? We have these Christians out here. You have these Christians, these apologists like vocab and all these different YouTube preachers popping up out of nowhere coming against the Hebrew Israelites, when they don't have any true knowledge or wisdom on the Bible, because they don't go on the prophecies. Okay? You'll never see a vocab do a video strictly going through the prophecies that Isaiah went into, that Jeremiah talks about, that Ezekiel speaks on, that Daniel speaks on. Vocab can't break down Daniel 11th chapter, let alone go into the Apocrypha. Okay? He can't do these things because they don't have the spirit. They don't have the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, nor the knowledge. So therefore, if you have that and you're absent, then what does that mean? That means that you're not going to be stable. Okay? Because if you don't have that knowledge, then you don't know how to fear the Lord. Right? Brothers was just watching the video about this guy that just leaped to his doom. Okay? Jumped to his death. Why? Because he doesn't have the fear of the Lord. But if he knew the scriptures, he knew, all right, he would know that pulling death upon yourself and doing that act, that will separate you from the Most High. Okay? For example, King Saul did that. Okay? He fell upon his own sword. Why? Because the spirit of the Lord left him. All right? And that's what happened previous to him when he was king, and his spirit switched over to King David. Okay? Go ahead.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of the light and children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunk are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation.
Right, and it spoke about ye brethren are not in darkness for that day. What day is it talking about? It's talking about the day of the Lord, where everything is going to be just like now with the weather, you know, tornado watches and storms and things coming through, bad weather, right? That's how the day of the Lord is going to be, okay? It's not going to be any rainbows and cotton candy and parades in that time when the Lord is bringing his wrath, okay? The mama doesn't whoop you with a bouquet of flowers. She gets that belt and she spanks that ass, okay? Same thing with your father. So if the Lord is bringing wrath upon the people in the earth, then everything is not going to be fine and dandy, okay? All right. So if there's going to be martial law, if there's going to be pestilences and there's going to be famines and other calamities out here, all right, then there has to be an opposite too. There is going to be a level of mercy and a level of joy, but that's for those that know the Lord.
That's the elect. That's for the elect. Because at the end of the day, man, Esau will have you to believe that it's going to be hugs and kisses. You know, he coming back to save everybody. But when you go into John 3:16, he's not for the whole world. That's that when you go into that word world, it means cosmos, a select orderly arrangement. That's talking about the elect of Israel. You know, everybody's not going to make it on this go around. You know, so that's why you got to come out of that darkness that Esau put you in, man. Believing that he's going to come back and save everybody. That's why the knowledge of wisdom should be the stability of our times. Because you know, if you out here toiling with these scriptures, you out here believing in your Yahweh Shemal Shah, then you got a chance. These other people, they not trusting in your Yahweh Shemal Shah. They not putting this wisdom first. You know, only thing they trusting in is Esau Edom's kingdom. You know.
This is a second
Like,
Ezra.
when you done?
It's some more I can grab.
Okay, come on, you get that.
Back in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8, it says, "But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. For the Most High hath not appointed us to wrath, but to attain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach."
Right. So the Lord has wrath coming, but he hasn't appointed the elect to wrath. Just those outside of this spiritual sanctuary that we've been allowed to enter into through his mercy and grace, you know, through the gift of faith. Only those within this specific circle are going to be able to have that extended unto them. Everybody else is going to feel the wrath of the Lord. All right? And rightly so. Because if you don't know him, how are you going to have the mind state and a stable mind state to call upon him and believe in him when miseries take place? Okay? Go ahead.
I'm going to keep going.
You want to just finish out that verse, the next verse?
Okay, fine. It says, verse 10, it says, "Who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore accompany yourselves together and edify one another, even as also you do."
Right, as we do. And that's what we're doing. We're edifying one another, we're comforting one another, we're bringing these scriptures out, okay? We're letting the people know the real, okay? We let them know the real deal. But at the same time, we got to have that balance and let, you know, the word of the elected Israel know that there is going to be good coming. And that's the good news. Okay, you got it now.
Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, "For like as all things that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest, having plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils."
Right, the said perils. Okay? Those that believe are going to actually get through those perils. All right? Because what? The end is manifesting itself now. So in the end, that's letting you know that in the end there's perilous times. Somebody can get 2 Timothy the 3rd chapter. All right? Because that's going to let you know that we in these times, because it gives down the list of how people are going to be. lovers of their own selves, heady, high-minded, covetous, boasting. That's the world we live in today. Everybody has to be somebody. Everybody's an influencer. Everybody's a socialite. Everybody's you know, everybody's getting money. You know. Yep.
And that's that darkness.
Yep.
That the art read about in the verse, because Satan has been disguised as an angel of light.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they follow. You know, the angel, the so-called angel of this world, which is the angel of light, which is all that, you know, all the folly that this world offers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually darkness. All right, it's actually darkness in the eyes of the heavenly Father.
Mm-hmm. The scripture says that the knowledge of the wicked is not wisdom. So whatever light these illuminated ones have on the left hand side, that's not real wisdom. Real wisdom, going back to the first scripture we read, real wisdom is the knowledge of the holy scriptures and following in righteousness. Okay?
Because like you said earlier, Esau just good at telling lies. You know, because in order to tell a lie, you got to know the truth.
Yep.
So he know who the real illuminated ones is. He just hiding behind those lies. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing up on this verse 8, it says, "Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from the beginning."
Right, and that's what we want. We want to see the salvation. Not just see the salvation be delivered, but we want to see it in the Lord's land as well. Because when all hell breaks loose and these back and forth between Iran and America and Israel and Russia and all this actually comes to a heavy climax over there in the Middle East, okay? There's going to be nukes flying from everywhere, right? And the Lord said from the end of heaven, from the east to the west, it's going to be nuclear missiles flying everywhere, and that's going to hit and land and destroy that land over there, Israel, and it's definitely going to come over here to America and the west and this side of the world and destroy this land of Babylon the Great. But that land of Israel is going to be beautified. So we want to see that land be saved. But first you got to preserve the people for that land. Okay? All right? Because it says what? Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, right? And it says the fear of the Lord is his treasure, okay? And scripture also says that these things shall make you wise unto what? Wise unto salvation. That's in the New Testament. So we want all this wisdom to make us wise to actually being saved, okay? So I got, yeah, come 2 Timothy 3.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come."
Right, so in the last days, perilous times shall come. So if things are going to be perilous, you're going to have to know how to get through these times. All right? Go ahead.
It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves."
Okay, so let's break it down. In the last days, people are going to love their own selves. People are going to appear to be something they're not. That's what that means. Everybody's going to be vain. Everybody's going to be superficial. Everybody's going to be a bunch of backstabbers and liars. Okay? That's how the majority of the world is going to be, especially in Babylon the Great. That's just the spirit that a proud country like this would exude out. Okay?
It says, covetousness.
Covetousness. Everybody wants, everybody's scamming, everybody's trying to get, you know, I got mine, you know, that spirit. Go ahead.
Boasters.
Boasters. Everybody's boasting. I mean, look at the music today. Either you rapping about something you got, or you rapping about something that you're trying to do.
Or a nigga with a Hellcat. You know, you gotta have a Hellcat to have your badge in this world. Like that's your stamp on the proof. You know.
It says proud.
Proud. That's the key thing. That's the key. That's what all this means. To be covetous, to be a lover of yourself, that means you're proud, man. Okay? And that's the spirit that this world, that's a demon that we all fight. Everybody fights a level of pride, and that's a demon that we have to constantly purge off of ourselves being in this truth. Okay? Because you got a lot of Israelites, especially guys that are leaders of congregations, all right, that don't want to go into the name of the Lord. They don't want to teach the truth. Hold, go into certain prophecies. They omit a lot of things. Why? Because when you've been doing that lying, conniving shit for so long and so many years, it's hard to backtrack and humble yourself. That makes you proud. Okay? But that's also this world puts that there's a proud demon on the world. But that lets you know what time we're in too. Okay?
Started that whole social media thing, and that's what really led a lot of these characteristics.
Yep. That was witchcraft.
Yeah.
To this black mirror. You know?
Disobedient of Salaki says proud blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection.
Right, and we see people that don't have, there's been a heavy influx of people that have moved away from the natural affection between man and woman to the point to where they totally change themselves and transform themselves.
Hey, well, you see
And
they
it's
got a
something like-
transgender day now. They said they got a holiday for transgenders on March the 31st. So now transgenders got a whole day to themselves now for changing their plumbing.
Why? Because of what the brother just read. That lets you know that we're in perilous times. These are just time gates. Like you set an alarm clock for a certain time. Okay, I got that alarm because that means it's time for me to do this. These are like alarms set up because these are alarming things. So these alarms are set up in the spirit. Okay, I know what time we in now. I know where we at. We close to the end of this society. My brother read earlier, 2:9. The end is manifest. So what are we getting ready to see? The salvation. First, we got to get through the perils.
Incontinent, fears, despisers of those that are good.
Yeah, despisers of those that are good. You really can't. Really, you got to be a straight negative person to really kind of be accepted in this world. You can't really be too positive. You can't be really positive, and you can't really be, true to things, because people are scared of the truth. Okay.
And Brother Shabbat brought out a while ago, when you go into that word positive, it actually means dealing with the truth. There's a lot of people in this world that can't do it, and they look at us as negative, but really and truly we're positive, man. We deal with the truth.
Whatever way that we see negative, that's because we're against this world. Because this world is opposite of righteousness. It's wicked. So they're going to clash.
Traitors, heady, high-minded,
same thing with proud. Go ahead.
lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High.
Right. People love pleasure of this world more than they love the Most High. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad thing. Now, when you go into Genesis, before the flood, that's how the world of Noah was. Sin and wickedness was so much in the world that the Lord had to flood it. Okay? He had to flood the world. And he only saved 8 people. So, imagine, let's say it was 1 billion people on earth back then. Out of 1 billion people, he only saved 8. A man is really just a man, his wife, and his kids. But because they had wives, that's what made it 8. Right? So it was no. It was no. Yeah. Right. 8 people. Okay. With their wives and certain animals. Okay.
But that's the Lord bringing that fear.
Yeah.
Because the Lord bringing that fear to that Jake, because Jake will sit back and he'll see nothing ever happen. Well, the Lord ain't doing nothing. He okay with me, committing adultery. He okay with me being a homosexual because ain't nothing happened. So now the Lord about to bring that fear back into the world.
like because you brought out positive. I looked it up, right? So positive, this on the adjective. When you go down to it, it says the sense. This from the etymology, online. The sense of absolute is from the mid 15th century, meaning in philosophy of dealing only with facts.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're really positive, you really only deal with facts. Okay? To some people it may seem in a certain way negative, pessimistic or whatever.
Right.
No, it's just facts. Because truth is a balance. You know? Facts and truth is 1 + 1 is going to always be 2. Okay?
Right.
All right? And that's it. If you got wickedness plus wickedness, the world is wicked. Right? But if you have, it's math.
Yep.
You know, you have your negative and your positive.
Yep.
Depending on how much it teeters either way.
Hey, and that's the thing with Great Millstone, they deal with those facts, they deal with the truth. Because when we first came into the truth, what did Apostle Tahar say? He said, you don't have to believe me, go look it up for yourself. And what he say on the highways and byways now, bring out the receipts, bring out the facts, you know? So you can back it up, you can see, hey, these things are really lining up with the scripture.
And that's the thing about America, Babylon the Great, is that it's got a heavy queen of basically a feminine spirit on it. And women don't deal with facts or reality. They deal with fantasy. They deal with emotions. And this world is very emotional. What the Queen of Heaven spirit, Salakia, it's a very emotional spirit, which is why they reject the truth. These people, they really don't like to hear what's really about. Hey, it's a fact that Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of it actually taking place. Okay? Was that it on that?
Just 2 more verses of a shot. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. For of this sort are there which creep into houses and led captive silly women laden with sin, led away with diverse lusts.
Right, and that goes in these other Israelite groups outside of Great Millstone. Okay, we really see the ill that they bring to our people, man. Okay, that comes out, especially with this crap. This guy ISUBK, Mahaim, and whatever his name is, whatever he's talking about with this Will and Jada Smith thing. Here it is. They talk about we're Israelites, right? The main thing. What does an Israelite do? What is an Israelite known for? Israelites are known for keeping the laws, right? Everybody knows that Jewish people follow a certain law. Even dealing with Amalek, and them taking upon our culture, right? It's just a certain way of life that they have that's different, okay? That's separate, right? That's holy, from the rest of the people on the earth, okay? You think about the 10 Commandments, right? Here it is. This guy, in ISUBK, is telling, whether they in Hollywood or not, saying what he condones, okay? Because he has an evil, wicked mind. And didn't Yahweh Shai say that ye shall know them by their fruits? Didn't Yahweh Shai say that out of the mouth, the abundance of the heart speaketh? Okay? So basically, whatever he's thinking and coming up in his mind, that's what he's speaking. Okay? And that's wicked and that's evil. That's how you know that ISUBK ain't the home of the truth. Okay? It's not. Alright? Same thing with IUIC and their non-acknowledgement openly and publicly of calling upon the names of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. They do not have the truth. Okay? Period. It's like at some point you just got to look at that's not it. Okay? That's not it. Somebody has to have the positive, the facts. Somebody has to be negative. Okay? And so what is the world doing to people like that and this world that's like that? The Lord's going to bring his wrath and destroy it, man. Okay?
That's the last verse.
Come.
Verse 7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
And never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because the knowledge of the truth is important. Okay? The knowledge of the truth comes out of the scriptures. Okay? Anybody else got something?
Yeah, I agree, so. Isaiah 60:2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
Gross darkness are covering the people right now. All right? Although you got the prophets, the true prophets out here shedding light on this wicked world and how it's supposed to be and how it's not supposed to be, what the Lord is going to do. Okay? We have the majority of the world seeking shelter in the darkness from the light that's coming out. They'd rather be like that. Okay? That's in John the 1st chapter. About Yahushua being that light and the world being in darkness. Okay?
Because they don't want their evil deeds to be seen. You know? All right, I'm going to start back at the top. Isaiah 60:2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Right, and who is he talking to when he says thee? He's talking to Israel. Okay? He's talking to our people. Look, the world is in darkness, but the Lord's going to rise upon you. And how did he rise upon Israel? He sent his son. He sent his son, right, to be that light and that savior to Israel. But not even all Israel, because Israel's a part of being in that gross darkness too, but don't want to wake up. 2/3 of Israel don't want to wake up. Okay? So you're going to have it to where the elect, all right, the elect are going to gravitate and become sons of the Most High under Yahushua. Okay? Back to the Heavenly Father. All right?
You had some? I got some. This is John 3, verse 17. For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Right, because if Yahushua didn't come, right, you can read Malachi the 4th chapter. Let the earth would have been stricken with a curse, because he had to send Elijah back to speak again, right? Which came back as John the Baptist. And what did John the Baptist do? John the Baptist ushered in Yahushua. And Yahushua was able to bring that light back to Israel. Not to condemn it, but that the elected Israel can come and be gathered under him, right? Like you said, as a mother hen does her chicks, right? Be gathered back into Yahushua so we can be healed. Okay?
It says, he that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
So if you don't believe in Yahushua, you already condemned. We ain't got to sit here and berate you about what the Lord is going to do. We're going to tell you. We are going to tell you, because that's the spirit of the prophets through the scriptures. We're going to tell you the good and the bad. But there's no understanding that you already condemn yourself by not listening, because Yahushua is here to give us hope. He's here to give that light and give us that chance, man. Right? So we've been blessed with the gift of faith to believe in him. Now, if you put your talent in a napkin and you don't use that faith, everything is just it's a waste. Okay? And Yahushua is going to come back and say, I never knew you, and you put me out there in the darkness, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay?
That's why we say that's why we get on these other camps so much about the name. All right, because if you're not, your faith is not in the right thing, you're gonna perish. And the Lord is gonna say, "Get away from me, I never knew you." We don't want you to hear that. Really, that's love.
It says, because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of the Most High.
Name, man. The name is important, man. Hey, you see, IUIC finally acknowledging the name of Yahushua. They didn't acknowledge, where they went off at.
But they're doing it subtly.
Yeah.
They're still doing it subtly. But right, they're not acknowledging where they really went off at. And they're not going to tell you that, look, GMS was telling you the truth the whole time.
Right.
Okay? There's still that level of pride within you.
Verse 19, it says, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
Right, but what is the condemnation? That here it is now that even though the world lies in darkness, okay, there's a light shine. Okay, there's a light shine. So if you want to stay there, okay, then you're going to have to reside where darkness is going to be put out. Okay? Evil is going to be put out. That's in the Bible. Darkness and evil and wickedness is going to put out, and the truth and faith is going to flourish. But in order for that to happen, everything related to it and attached to it has to go. You know? Sometimes you can't hold on to things that's even sentimental things. You all got to learn it. Certain things you just got to throw away. Okay? And if you're an Israelite and you're not right, and you're not following and having faith and believing in Yahweh Shai, the Lord, he's going to have to do what he has to do and throw you away. Okay? Go ahead.
And the men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither coming to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
Yeah, see, people don't like to be told about themselves. Okay? Not understanding that if you're being reproved, right? If you're being rebuked and reproved, that's really so you can have a development of character. Okay? You told us and you've been doing this wrong the whole time. Alright? And what you've been trying ain't getting you nowhere, then listen. And in that way, when it brings about a positive influence, in you, and you're able to produce right, then that's spiritual growth. Then you gain something. Okay? But by not listening, you ain't doing nothing but holding yourself back. Okay? And don't hold yourself back by being rebellious and not listening. Okay? Get a reproof from the light so you can shine. Because you don't want to do it to somebody else. Don't be mad when they don't listen to you. You know? So this is something that we have to grow upon and understand as we become leaders and teachers and elders and brothers, that's coming in. Because when you have a congregation and you fail them, the Lord looks at that. Okay? He looks at that. And he brings judgment upon you for that. Okay? And that's not right. Somebody go to Isaiah 82.
Sirach 2 and 7. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Brother Bashar. Read that again.
Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail.
Yeah, if you believe in him and your reward shall not fail. There's a reward for believing in the Lord. Okay, go ahead.
Ye that fear the Lord, Salaki. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy.
Right, Brother Bashar, read when you start again from the top.
All right, start from the top.
Yeah.
You want to go all the way to 1 or you
No,
want to go to 7?
No. What you read before.
All right. Sirach 2 and 7. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fail.
Right, that's what I want. Yeah. Wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fail. If here is the Lord has given us mercy already, okay? Why are we waiting for more mercy? We're waiting for more mercy, okay? Because there's going to be judgment that's coming, and there is judgment that's coming. So we want mercy from that. We don't want to get struck down and get hurt, okay, or get destroyed. So ye that wait for his mercy, go not aside, lest ye fail. Because now, if you go aside, seeing that you have that mercy and you do what you want to do and you rebel, then you're going to fail in this walk. Because this is like a race that we're trying to get through, like an obstacle course and all of that, in the spirit, right? And you're going to be like one of them contestants on the show that try to get through it, and you're going to fail. Why? Because you went aside. Instead of going through, here is you got everybody telling you this is how you do it, what you're supposed to do. You know, especially those that came before you and you failed. Okay? We want to get the victory. Alright? So we don't go inside and we don't teach others to go inside. These guys out here teaching totally against the scriptures, man. Blatantly. And you got and you are a fool if you continue to follow this guy that's leading IGBK right now. You are a fool. Okay? Go ahead.
So Rock 2 and 8, ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail.
Ye that fear the Lord, right? Okay, and believe in him, you're going to get your reward if you do what he says to do. Okay? The Lord says don't eat pork. Don't do that. If you got an Israelite leader that's teaching you to do these things, don't commit adultery. All right? Or that's condoning these certain acts. Then they're not speaking according to the word of the Lord. So therefore, they're causing you to fail. That's why I said you a fool if you follow. Okay? Now, of course, you got
Should be back on.
all right, come. All right, let's get the
Isaiah.
yeah, 8 and 20. You still have more on that?
Yeah, I got some more.
Okay, we'll go back to it.
Alright. So Rock 2 and 9, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy.
Right, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, right? So you can get that everlasting mercy. Go ahead.
Look at the generations of old and see.
Right, look at the generations of old. Even the men today, an older generation that's been walking in this truth for so many years. Right? We follow the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And we've heard stories and we've experienced and seen certain things with them that we can say, you know what, this is a good path to have. They're still humble, they're still able to learn and grow, right? They haven't went away from the doctrine. Everything that I learned from them, I can go in the scriptures and confirm that is right. Okay? You know, if there's something wrong, they'll correct it. Okay, the Spirit will correct it. And then you keep going forward. But then you have these guys out here that just say, to hell with what the scriptures say. I'm going to just spew whatever the hell out my mouth.
I'm going to do it
And
my
that's
way.
wrong. Yeah, I'm going to do it my way. Well, the Lord, Hawashai said that he is the way. So if you ain't following him, there's nothing else that you can do. Okay?
And that's why the scriptures say knowledge puffeth up. You know, because these men that get this knowledge and they get puffed up and think they better than the ones that taught them the truth, the ones that brought them into the knowledge of the understanding. You know, the ones that was teaching them through the Spirit of God. I got some more on this though. Alright, so Rock 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
Right, so those that trusted in the Lord, okay, all right, those that believed in him and had fear in him, they made it through.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord took care of them, all right? So if you look at that as an example, especially going into those prophets like Daniel and those that was in the lion's den and, you know, men like that.
Joseph when he was in Egypt?
Yeah, Joseph was sold into slavery.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at the generation like that and you see that the Lord got them through, that's something that you can say I'm in good company with. Okay? We got to learn from people's mistakes and learn from people's journeys too. Okay? Righteous journeys. All right?
Look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord and was confounded? You know? Hey, you study them scriptures, man, you can see nobody was confounded. You know? Nobody that put their whole trust in Yahweh Shai was confounded. He delivered everyone that called upon him. You know?
Abraham, starting with Abraham. Abraham had to sacrifice his son. But he put his whole trust in Yahweh Shai first. Right? At the time, you know, it was Yahweh. Okay, because Isaac. Right? So Abraham, you know, he put all his trust in him. And he was able, not only did he get a blessing from the Lord, he was able to keep his son, which was a blessing within itself. He didn't have to sacrifice his son. So he didn't fail in that, right?
Hey, just like Job. Job told his wife, hey, you sound like one of the foolish women.
Mhm.
You know? He trusted in Yahweh Hashem Shah. You know?
I can read something real quick.
Yes, sir.
This is Luke 18:7. It says, "And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith on earth?"
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Right? The Lord's going to avenge his own elect because we cry unto him. And it says speedily. That's why, didn't I always try to say for the elect's days, elect's sake, the days are going to be shortened? Because if this place continue on the way it's going, and it's been continuing on a long time, you know, for a lot of men. But guess what? The Lord's going to come, all right? Because it's possible to lose faith. Okay? It's possible to you know, if that's your lot, to, you know, fall. But those of the elect, the scripture says that it's impossible to deceive them. But you never know if you don't endure. Okay? So you have to endure what's coming down, which proves what? Your trust in the Lord, going through these different scenarios. And being confident. You know, we gotta be confident that the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to get us through these perilous times. And we have the knowledge and wisdom to endure. Because if we don't, that's where the failure and the pity comes from. And nobody's going to pity you. Okay?
All right, I got some more. And whom did ever despise and call upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiving sins and saving in time of affliction.
Yeah, we're coming to time of affliction. Now, it said pitiful. Yeah, the Lord's going to be pity upon the elect, those that try. But if you don't try, he never knew you. Okay? He said he's full of compassion and mercy. So that means what? To be full of compassion and mercy meaning there's going to be something that you're going to, that, like for example, if you got a child, right, that just does bad, right, okay, and you constantly tell them something, right, and they just not getting it, right, but you see them try, you're going to have compassion and mercy upon them. And you're going to have faith in them that they're going to do the right thing. You're going to show them, you know, you're not going to hold their hand, but you're going to have enough mercy upon them, you know, and give them a chance to get right. Okay? But in order to have the compassion and mercy, there has to be an understanding that there's failure first. Okay? The Lord knows we're going to go through rocky times and fall down, but a just man falleth down and getteth up 7 times, man. Okay? That's how we gotta be.
So like the brother always say, the Lord ain't expecting us to make an A on every test. You know, some brothers might, you know, come up short, make a D, C or a D. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you say,
Well, you can fail. Let's say you get a F, but then you come back and you make an A.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you may fail, but then you come back and you get an A, and they're like, you know what? Like brothers get tests, knowledge tests. Brothers get like tests. And brothers will fail, but in the next test they get like a 90, 95, get an 8. You know, they get it right. You know what I'm saying? They get it together. Okay? That's how it is in the spirit. We failed as a nation and didn't keep the commandments. We were being rebellious. We got put in the... All right? Hey, that's Satan, man. We're going to get you along. All right?
If I may say, you know, we go through, you know, certain, like you say, you know, go through tests. We go through certain trials during this walk, you know, whether it be financial, you know, family, you know, living, you know, car, all these things, they're trying us. You know, the Lord is you know, proving us, getting that dross out of the silver, you know. But every time, like you said, you may fail certain tests. Man, Lord, man, I was carnal today, you know. I went off today. But if you come back, you acknowledge your offense, like the Lord say,
you repent,
and don't do it again, you come back and make an 8. The same trial may come to try you again in the same type of way, and with with different circumstances, and you pass. But that's the effort that the Lord is looking for, man.
Right. Here it is. We've been telling these guys to put the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, but they keep getting jacked up. And you keep doing it. But then if you start putting the name, you start seeing results, then do that. Yeah, but let's get to Isaiah 8.
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word.
Right, to the law and the testimony, right? Knowing the laws, what's right and wrong, what we're supposed to do, how to conduct ourselves. Okay, the testimony, what the prophets speak on, the stories, understanding, looking back at the generations, everything that we can gain from the law and gain from the scriptures, right? Okay? If you really want to get this word out, this gospel out, it says that speak not according to the truth, according to this word, go ahead.
It is because there is no light in them.
Because you don't have the truth, you don't have the light. Okay? Here it is, you want to push the law, you want to testify, you want to prophesy, and you out here, but you ain't doing according to what the word say, then you don't have the light. You don't have the light. And we're about keeping the lights on. Okay, so we got to do the work because that's what pays the bills. We got to keep the lights on. Okay, we got to keep this light, this lamp on this, let's say a city set on the hill, right? We got to keep that light, that lamp on the mantle, shining bright. Okay, we have to, because that's what's going to get us through. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and they shall pass through it hardly, be stead and hungry.
Come. So, all right, to the law and to the testimony, they speak not according to this word, but they don't come out of here, like vocab and these other Christians and all these other churches, and they don't speak on this word because they ain't got the light. They ain't got the light. You can't omit the fact that these people are going into slavery. That's in Revelation 13 chapter. They led us into captivity, therefore they must be killed with the sword and go into captivity. Okay? America whipped out all this wickedness as the eagle and is following Rome and coming in the spirit of these other nations in the last days, and they being wicked, therefore the Lord will have to destroy it by fire. It's just, it is what it is. The problem is, because people are in darkness, people hate the light. And that's okay. That's okay. Because the light will shine on all you vampires. Spiritual vampires.
Listen to Psalm chapter 3 and 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. Just in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
Right, that's for a lot of brothers and sisters that were passed on. That's okay, because the Lord got them. Took care of them, because they died in the light. Right?
It says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet they're hopeful of immortality.
Right, and because we all want to get that immortality when everybody's refreshed. Everybody's going to get it refreshed. All right? We're going to get a fleshy heart. We're going to get a new body. All right? We're going to have spiritual powers. We're going to be able to fly and all. We're going to be as gods in the earth. Okay? Vocab don't want to hear that, but guess what? Oh, well, for you, that's your lack of faith. Because what we say, you're not an Israelite anyway. So you ain't got no hope anyway. Okay? Well, we can see. All right? But those that trust in Yahweh Shai are going to be okay. All right? Those that get this knowledge and this wisdom are going to be okay. All right? Anybody else? That was it?
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 18. It says, now when I prepared the world, which was not made even for them to dwell in, that now live no man spake against me. For then every one obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by the perpetual seed.
Mhm. Yep. This world is now is corrupted by wickedness. Go ahead.
It says, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it.
Yep, fairly times again. Go ahead.
Verse 21, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a great of a cluster.
Right. But within this wicked world, the Lord has a great of a cluster. Right? And he's kept. Right? Because guess what? Grapes supposed to have seeds. You can take that seed, and from that seed, that grape seed, you can grow a whole tree. A whole new tree. Okay? Hey, what I was trying to say? Every tree that my father has not planted shall be plucked up and cast into the fire. So the Lord can take that cluster, that grape of that cluster, plant that, a whole new grapevine, right? It can grow, and it can be beautified, man. Okay? You can have a whole new garden. Go ahead.
It says, and I saw it and spared it greatly, and kept me a great of a cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which were born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
Right, and that's the elect. Elect is made perfect. Okay? All right? Yep. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
All right, that was it. All right, so that's it. Lord willing, everybody was able to catch the stream as it was going in and out, right? But we just want to bring out a few scriptures in the spirit. Just speak, whatever the spirit has to bring out. So with that, we'll close out. We want to give our praises, our glory, our honors unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.